Oh, Henry Tyler says I'm hot, so I must be that. Welcome to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit, Highland Park, and all over. I'd like to invite you to call in this morning if it so fits you. If not, you could just watch because I have a great show for you. In fact, it's an all Highland Park show, which really excites me. You can call us at 313-868-0342, 868-0351, or 868-4336. And before I get to my guest, I want to remind everyone that next week, Saturday is the week. It is R.J. Watkins' 90th birthday. Oh, no. His 60th birthday party. Doesn't it seem like he's been around 90 years, though? But I'm so happy to celebrate my friend next Saturday, and it's from 4 to 9 p.m. right out on our plaza, right outside. We have singers, we'll have vendors, you'll meet the host, and I think I'm going to try and show up this year, and I think we're in for a really, really, really great time. Of course, it's going to be warm, so we'll keep you hydrated. We'll have plenty of water, and we'll have some refreshments, and it's going to be great. And if it suits you, because this station is run by donations from you, that you could put a little nice birthday card to R.J. Watkins and put a few dollars in the envelope. It won't hurt. I do all the time. So please remember, July 6th, 4 to 9 here on the plaza, but you must RSVP 313-868-6612. And we're going to have a great day. We're going to party. Anyway, this morning I'm very, very, very happy and excited to bring to you my first guest. My first guest is Miss Jackie Moore. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning.
And Jackie she's an author. She's a native Highland Parker, isn't that right?
That's right. Born and bred here.
Born and bred. And she is a national author. And she has a new book out, which I had the pleasure to read. And it's really, really exciting. It's something that can happen to anybody. But let's first delve into Jackie. Jackie.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you graduated from Highland Park, the old high school, right?
The old high school. I was Highland Park High School class of 1976.
Well, I didn't ask you to say your date because I was teaching there then. That means
Well,
I'll just play it.
I'm a strong believer in claiming who I am. And
Absolutely.
I am a proud Highland Parker who happened to turn 55 last
Did
week.
you?
Yes.
God,
and
we're almost the same age.
we are.
Yeah.
We got you right out of high school.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you were always just a go-getter, but when did you, what elementary school did you go to?
I went to Willard, was my elementary school. Ferris was my junior high. And then we all met up again at Highland Park High School.
At Highland Park High School, and those were the days. And you have your afro, and we were wearing afros back then.
Absolutely.
I mean, and glass heel shoes. The guys were wearing those glass heel shoes. Remember those
The
heels?
platforms.
The
with
platforms with the
yes.
little, didn't have fish in them, but it was close.
Sometimes they had dice in them.
Yeah.
They had little different things in them when they were really, really cool.
So, Jackie, when did you discover that you wanted to write?
Well, that was a surprise to me about 13, 14 years ago. I've always loved books. I've been reading books for as long as I can remember. And
I remember when I ran into you, you were working at Channel 4.
I was. I worked there for a number of years in the production department.
Right, and you were telling me you wanted to write.
Something was sometimes a seed is planted, and until it comes to fruition, you're not satisfied until that particular seed has blossomed into what you are and who you are supposed to be.
So what did you do? What was the first thing you did?
The first thing that I did was that I asked a friend, a young lady I'd actually met by the name of Sylvia Hubbard.
Oh, yes, Sylvia.
Sylvia. I said, Sylvia, this is something I think I want to do, but I'm not sure how do I do it? And, you know, what is the process for getting started? She said, well, the first thing that you need to do is to connect with a local writing group, of which I happen to be the director of, which was Motown Writers Network. And we can take you on this journey that will show you the ins and outs on how to get started. And so one of the first things that she told me is that the first thing you have to do is get out there and set up your website, which is what I did.
A long time ago?
A long time ago, she told me this. And this is, as I said, about 13, 14 years ago. So I set up my first website, and she said, now you need to join some online writing groups and participate with other writers so you can get a feel on what this journey is supposed to feel like and what are some of the things that you should do. One of the things that came out of that was what's called a call for submission. Publishers will sometimes generate a call for submission for a particular type of story. And I answered a few, and I want to say I have a total of 7 short stories that published.
Really?
7 short stories that published.
What was the basic topic? Did you have a basic theme or?
Well, each publisher will decide what that topic should be. For example, one of the short stories that I had written was a call for submission for women who have overcome adversity. And this was a call for submission that was generated by Peace in the Storm Publishing. And so I answered that with a story about a woman who was a streetwalker near a church. And there was something about that church that kept calling this woman. And she made her way. One day she gets up enough courage to finally walk through the doors. And how she was treated almost caused her to turn around and flee. And it was based on the premise that, you know, how sometimes, well, what happened was is that when she got in the church, the people in there started whispering and pointing and talking about her. And it intimidated her.
Jesus accepted Mary Magdalene.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what's this about? You know, that's what gets me about the hypocrisy of people.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I wanted to point out in that story. And if it was not for one person who reached out to put her arm around her and take her on this journey, they would have turned her away. And, you know, it's also something that was, one of the things that I did was that I told a little bit about her background. She had been a prostitute since the age of 8, but the reason wasn't because it was a chosen profession. It was something that was done to her. And as such, she never had any choice or options to know that she could be anything other but a prostitute.
So this short story, how long was it?
It was about 2,500 to 3,000 word story.
When you can put a whole story in 3,000 words or less, you are a great writer. You really can, because you know how to cut out the minutia and get to the
right.
facts.
And, you know, as I said, that one was because we're so quick to judge people and we don't know their story.
Absolutely.
And the publisher who did that, as I said, was Peace in the Storm Publishing, and the anthology was called Triumph of My Soul. And it was an anthology that, as I said, the theme was women overcoming adversity. And that particular publisher was starting her own publishing company, company at that time, and she decided that I would be one of the first authors that she selected.
Isn't that great?
Absolutely.
Now, is that a religious publishing company?
It is not. Peace in the Storm actually has a variety of genres. There is Christianity, there is erotica, there is interracial.
Erotica,
Interracial romance, and self-help books. You know, one of the things that's so wonderful about my particular publishing company, Peace in the Storm, that's headed by Elisa Gabriel, is that each author was selected not so because they just write great stories, it's that because they write stories that trigger thought, that motivate, and that cause sometimes a little bit of controversy.
Well, that's good to stir that pot, get people talking, and invoke conversations, because many times those conversations are things that we need to talk about. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely, and that was one of the main reasons that I wrote my latest book, Chains of Deception. I am primarily a fiction author, and Chains of Deception is a work of fiction, and it's about a woman's sexual addiction. But what you'll learn in the story is that there are reasons behind why she's going down the path that she's going. And the primary purpose of that particular story was to generate conversation about sexual abuse and incest.
In families, so many times our families have things that they don't say,
Absolutely.
things that they don't reveal. And I'll go first back to mental illness. How a lot of times they could have Uncle Edward up in the room. He doesn't come. They don't let him out much, but they don't talk about Uncle Edward.
That's right. And the thing about it is that I'm sure every one of you have heard what happens in this house stays in this house. And so we want to keep family secrets in the house. Unfortunately, what we don't realize is that oftentimes by keeping these secrets inside, we're not allowing our family members to get the help that they need to overcome whatever it was that impacted them and affected them.
Well, before we get into Chains of Deception more, because I thought it was a wonderful book, let's look at your first book, if you have it.
Okay. My first book was actually Serving Justice.
Serving Justice. Now, what was the premise here?
Serving Justice is
Wait, let me say.
Okay.
It says, sometimes love resides above the law. Serving Justice.
Serving Justice was about a Chicago lawyer who, at a young age, had decided that she wanted to go into law because of the way that she and her family were treated growing up. She grew up at a time in the 50s and 60s where racism was prevalent. But in addition to that, there was also implied racism in the black community as well.
What do you mean by that?
Implied racism is that there was a time when we as African Americans did not embrace every aspect of who we were. For example, if your skin was too dark, you weren't very acceptable. If you wore an afro, you were militant. And if you wore twists, oh my God, you must be a crazy lady.
I don't want to go away from the subject too much, but did you see Dark Girls?
I did.
Oprah Winfrey's on the Oprah Winfrey Network?
Not yet. Unfortunately, I missed the program.
It's going to come back on, but it deals with that skin color thing. And that's a real issue. And I just never understood it because as black people, we are made up of so many hues, so many complexions, so many colors. My mother is dark skinned. My father is your complexion. And my brother is darker skinned. But some of the things that we do in our community and say to each other are terrible. My children are darker than I am. And one lady, I introduced my daughter, Courtney, to her, and she says, and this is a black woman saying this, she said, oh, a pretty dark girl. Why you...
Right. It's like, why do you have to put a handle on it? Why
and
can't we
I'm
just
glad
be pretty?
that you mentioned that because that is something unbelievably so still prevalent in our community.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that we tend to forget is that we're all from the same place. It doesn't matter what color your skin tone is.
Absolutely.
And the challenges that I face as a African American woman are intensified simply because I choose not to walk the straight and narrow sometimes. I just choose simply to be me.
We are rebels. I love it, Jackie. Anyway, and people can rely on the you.
Oh, absolutely.
See, it's nothing better than people knowing who you are because there are no surprises.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is that it took me a long time to get to this place because, and I think this is probably true for a lot of black women. We allow the world to define who we are as opposed to simply embracing who we really are. The essence of what it is we're supposed to be.
Don't you think it's because there's a fear of being ostracized?
Oh, absolutely.
It's we try to be that square peg that fits into that round hole, and we figure finally, after bumping our heads enough, we say, well, that's just not me.
It's not me, and I'm not happy trying to be anything other than who I am. And that's what I mean about sometimes it takes a lifetime.
I've gotten in trouble going along with the crowd because when I've gone along with the crowd, if anybody gets caught, it's always me. So you're absolutely on the right track. So she encountered all of this. And who are these models? Were they just people, the publishing company? I always ask, who
Well,
are
you
the
know,
people?
my models are not someone that I know or had an opportunity to choose. Essentially, what happens in the creative process is that we kind of let our publisher know the theme of our story, and she will go out and look for artwork that she feels is appropriate or conveys the story that you're trying to reach. What a lot of people, a lot of want to be authors need to be aware of is that your title and your book cover are going to be extremely important for two reasons. One, it has to be something that's attractive enough to cause somebody to pick it up to begin with. And secondly, it tells a story even before the person opens up the book. Because the first thing they're going to do is look at the outside of the book to find out if that looks interesting, and then they're going to flip it over to see what your synopsis says about that particular story. And so, you know, uh, try not to be like everyone else when you're creating your covers, and try to convey what it is you're trying to convey as quickly and concisely as you possibly can
Well,
on
in
that
this
cover.
digital world now where so many people are reading on Kindle, what's happening now with books?
Well, you know, the same thing still applies. The cover is still in Amazon, on Barnes and Nobles, and that is still going to be your introduction.
Right.
And as well as your synopsis, it's still going to be there. So it's important both for paperback and for electronically.
So, how did you promote this book?
Well, you know, social media has gotten to be extremely important. And so, you know, connecting with people over the internet. However, face-to-face and written communication are still important. I would still reach out to people that I've met along my journey to help me create opportunities to talk about these things.
So, what was your next book?
My next book was Caught in the Middle.
Caught in the Middle. How many times? Oh, I'm revealing something. No, anyway.
Caught in the middle is what happens when the love affair begins before the divorce is final. And with that particular story, you know, what we fail to realize sometimes when we're getting into new relationships is that everyone has some baggage that they carry. And the baggage can be something that you can handle, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that's so overwhelming, it's not something that you should get involved with before it actually comes to fruition. For example, in this particular case, my main character failed to realize that with the man that she was dating, his wife was still there too. So in essence, she had to deal with a lot of issues that involved him.
When
him
you
and his
mean
wife.
the wife was still there, he was still in the house with the wife?
He was not still in the house, but they still had a connection because of the divorce. I mean, you know, because the divorce was not final.
Okay.
And in that particular story, for whatever reason, the wife decided that she wanted her man back and was trying to do everything that she possibly could to get him back. And so that's something else that she had to contend with. And so in that particular relationships, what she failed to understand was that he wasn't free and available to her. So it was impossible for her to actually, or it should have been what I call a red flag. One of the things that I try to do with my writing is, as I said, cause stimulation of thought. And by examining some of the characters, you have to wonder, am I exhibiting some of those same behaviors?
Now, they describe you as a Christian author. So, is there a Christian theme through here?
There is primarily a Christian theme in everything that I write. What I try to do in my stories is, and you know, and one of the reasons that I'm controversial is that I like to talk about issues that we don't want to discuss.
That's excellent.
For example, in Serving Justice, the question there was between my main character in that particular story and her friends is that she fell in love with a man who was her driver, and so she and her friends felt
It's
that
a
it was
class issue.
it is, and that it was beneath her. And the question I always tell people is that she had the possibility of her not seeing her blessing because it didn't come packaged the way that it should have is something that we have to examine. When we talk about relationships, we have the certain criteria, including dollar amount. If a man doesn't have a certain job, drive a certain car, live in a specific area, then he's not somebody I want to date. And so we'll judge him before we even get to know him. And he
Wow.
may be that man that God has ordained to be your husband.
Now, what do we have over there?
This was the anthology that I was speaking of, Triumph of My Soul.
Oh, where you
That was the
were
anthology. I was one of
Oh.
several authors. And
Oh, this is nice.
that was the one that
Oh,
started
Death
my
at a
relationship.
Church.
Yes.
Death at a Church.
Death at a Church.
Was that the title?
That
of
was the
it?
title of the book.
Oh my goodness, I picked that out. That was the title.
Death at a Church was the old woman dying and the new one being reborn.
Wow, that is fantastic, Jackie. Now, what would you say? I mean, what if I wanted to purchase all three of your older books?
All three of my older books are still available at Amazon and through Barnes & Noble.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, let's get into Chains of Deception. May I see this,
Yes.
please?
Chains of Deception is my latest book. It's my latest baby, and I'm very proud of her for a number of reasons. This book took me the longest to write, but because of the seriousness of the topic, it was rather uncomfortable for me to write it. And part of that reason is that I was a victim of childhood sexual abuse. And I actually got to a point in the story where I could not move forward, and I didn't understand why. And my publisher suggested that I speak to a young lady who was also an author and a survivor of sexual abuse. Wow. And she had written a book called Without My Permission, and her name is Sharon Wells. Sharon had been sexually abused by 3 different family members by the time she was 13.
How do people do this? I mean, seriously, and we know it exists, we know all of that, but it's such a violation.
It is. And you know, the unfortunate part of it is that what we fail to understand is that the effects and implications of what's to come for many years is not something that's considered or evaluated by the perpetrator and or by the victim's parents.
Right, and then so many times it is the victim's parents or mother or father sometimes who say, well, we're not going to talk about this, it's in the past, and they allow that person to still come around.
And that's true. They think that that by them confronting that person, that the damage is over. And what they fail to realize is that it's a scar or a wound that's so deep that it can't heal until you do something about it. And that's primarily what my friend Sharon told me. She said, the reason that you can't get past this story or get past this point in your story is because you have not confronted the fact that you were abused. And from that, I also write daily devotionals. And the devotional that came out of that one was, you can't conquer what you won't confront.
Absolutely. And another thing, we try to get past things that happen in our past, but we don't grieve them. We do not grieve them. We do not deal them out. I mean, I'm not just talking about something like that, but even things that our parents did, our father, I was once told, because my parents separated when I was younger, that I never grieved my father leaving. I just said, well, it's for the better good and this and that. But sometimes we have to grieve it out. We have to deal with it. We have to face it,
Absolutely.
whether we want to or not. And that's what I laud about this book, because well, I'm not going to say what happens. Everybody, this is a fantastic book. How will our audience be able to purchase the book?
Again, it's available at my website, which is www.jacquelinedmoore.com, at my publisher's website, which is peaceinthestormpublishing.com, on Amazon, at Barnes & Nobles. It's available both in paperback and on Kindle and Nook.
My goodness, that's wonderful.
And I'm also available to do private signings, personal signings, public signings.
And that's always great to have the author there, where the author can talk about it. You can get your book. And if you've read the book, you can ask the author questions. Why? What happened? Why? All of these things.
Absolutely.
Because I couldn't put it down. I started reading and I could not put it down. Jacqueline or Jackie. I just, I wish you the total best on this. Do you have anything set up, any book signings yet?
I don't. The book was just released on my birthday, which was June 18th.
Yes, we're a Gemini.
Yes, and we're looking for opportunities to book some signings.
How will they contact you at Jacqueline?
They can contact me. My email address is jackie@jacquelinedmoore.com. And you can also contact my publicist, Shayla Simone, and her number, I'm sorry, Ms. Perryman.
Okay, here is her number is 862-215-2980.
And again, my email address is Jacqueline, JACQUELIND. That D is very important, more.com.
And the thing about it is, and this is what people used to do for me, because, I'm an author also, with another book coming out very soon. And what they've done is, what they would do is actually get a group of friends and everything together, and I'd come over, speak about it, and sign the books, and just have a good old time that night. And I'm always in for a good old time. Invite me. So,
and I have to tell you, as an author, she is phenomenal. You have to look up her work.
And everything. I had this conversation last night. Everything except a few things are sold out. I'm getting ready to do everything. My new book should be out by September, which is a compilation of 3 of my books of poetry, and it's called Mood Swings and Magic Carpet Rides Redux +2. So it's exciting because I do a lot of writing, but then I have She Who Limps Is Still Walking coming out too.
Okay.
So, but I'm so excited. I celebrate you, Jackie. I celebrate you so much.
Thank you.
And this is a product of our community. She is, and we need to support her. And once again, her publicist number is 862-215-2980.
And you can also find me on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Twitter, Blogger. My other handle is Mama Jack, MAMAJACQ.
Is that your Twitter name?
That's my Twitter name.
Oh, okay. I'm drama teacher.
Oh.
At drama teacher.
Okay.
But anyway, Jackie, I will, I'll be in touch. I got to get my copy of the book. Oh, I definitely do. And this is a very interesting picture if you can't see it. Oh, chains. So we'll be back in just a moment. Oh, by the way, we had a program change. Gigi Mack was supposed to be on the show as my second guest this morning, but she had an emergency, and we will have her back on the show. It couldn't be helped, and I love her, and she will be on the show. But next, for your health needs, your community needs, and your food needs, we're going to be talking to the people of Highland Park's Farmers Market, and you need to really take a listen. Once again, Jackie, thank you, and we'll be back in just a moment. Back to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And I was at my doctor's last week, and he says, Brenda, you will do much better if you lose some weight. After I slapped him and he got up off the floor, I thought about it. He was telling the truth. So today I have 2 very important people here today. Let's meet them. We have manager of Highland Park's Farmers Market, Paul Garrison, and we have our own Highland Park City Councilwoman, Mammie Posey Moore. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, this is the second year for Highland Park's Farmers Market, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Mammie, are we going to talk, Mammie? You know how loud, Mammie Moore was weren't you a cheerleader?
I was a cheerleader.
Well, come on, girl, now.
She knows she can talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
But listen, Mammie, why do you feel first that this is so important to the community?
Well, I ran my campaign on healthy living, and I just think as a community that should be our focus. We talked about planting seeds in the community this is one seed we need to plant. Kids today, adults today, and the seniors, the baby boomers, that is what's going on. And as you see, we are living longer, but it's all based on what we put into our system.
Well, it's about quality of life. Basically
Quality of
about
life.
quality of life, and they've said that obesity is a disease.
It's a disease.
Paul, how long have you been with Farmers Market?
This will be my first year with the Highland Park Farmers Market. Councilwoman Mammie Posey Moore. I'm also her research analyst, but she communicated with me regarding this, and it just so happens that I'm completing my master's of urban planning and economic development and community development. And one of the core components is food systems and ecosystems, as well as green and sustainability. And it is my goal to work in community revitalization of the distressed African American communities. So this is a perfect fit for me.
Well, tell us about the Highland Park Farmers Market. What are we expecting this year?
The purpose of the Highland Park Farmers Market is to provide access to fresh and healthy food and to promote and encourage entrepreneurship opportunities and offer a communal gathering place.
Okay, entrepreneurial opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that happen?
People are able to grow their own produce and sell it at the farmers market.
Okay, everybody get in the backyard and start planting. Start planting.
Well-
And if you, what if our community, they do plant, they have a beautiful garden full of different vegetables. How would they come and be a vendor?
Well, to be a vendor, they can contact me, which I would be more than happy to provide that information. My name is Paul A. Garrison. I am the manager of Highland Park Farmers Market. My number is 313-424-3165, and you can call that number. I can also email information, and there's a information on the website for NGCO, which is the nonprofit organization that sponsors the farmers market. And the farmers market was the brainstorm of Councilwoman Mammie Posey Moore, as well as Mr. Scott Maloney.
This is just so wonderful, and it starts next month.
Yes, ma'am. July 27th is the opening day, but we are having a fundraiser on July 13th as well.
Well, let's first, okay, we're going to talk about that fundraiser because that's very, very important. But let's talk about the fact that it is in the community.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to have a wide range of vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, we're going to have a wide range of vegetables, produce. There will be vendors who have their own products that they make, and that would be an opportunity for them to market and sell their products. We have a lady that, I'm not going to get the name of some of the vendors, but she has this fantastic salsa that she makes, and it's
Really?
her own created product. So the Highland Park Farmer Market is a venue for the community and individuals in the community to have access to market and provide their products that they have created. And a lot of times as African Americans, we don't always have that opportunity available to us, and we are trying to make that opportunity available.
Yeah, we don't have to sell it out our trunk.
No, we don't. We actually have a proper venue that's licensed with certified professional individuals such as myself for operational purposes that they
Wow.
can do it from.
So what if I make pound cakes? I mean, I make the best pound cakes in the world.
Sound like my mom.
No, I don't make the best. I said, what if? What if?
Yeah.
I'd like to buy pound cakes, but I'm on I have to eat fruit. But once in a while, I can splurge. Could I call you?
Yes, you can. You can call me at the number I just gave you, 313-424-3165. I will immediately respond. I'm already comprising the vendor lists. Last year, there were 8 vendors at the farmers market, and our goal is to double that this year.
Okay, now what about other, do you get produce from other places too?
Yes, ma'am. People, it's not limited to just the community.
Right.
People outside the community are able to be vendors at Highland Park's Farmer Market as well. So, and that's very, very important because we are part of the Eastern Market
Okay, I was gonna
Food
say.
Market Coalition,
That's
which
important.
encompasses
I was gonna add. Okay.
all of the farmers markets in all of the communities.
That's
So
important.
we-
That's
we're,
very
we're into, we practice inclusionary practices and procedures, which includes people from different diverse backgrounds, multicultural, etc.
Correct.
diverse background.
Diversity is key to success.
Diversity. Oh, okay. Now we have a fundraiser. Tell me why.
Why are we having a fundraiser?
Yes.
We're having a fundraiser to raise funds and monies to cover the operational expenses of operating farmers market, because they did learn from last year certain things they need, but also to have funds available for youth workers. We're
Oh,
going to have some.
good,
We're going to have.
good,
We're going to
good.
have. We're engaging the youth in this, and we want the youth to be involved. So we want youth workers that would be available as manpower to help certain vendors, because some of our vendors may be a one-person vendor, and they may need help. So we have youth that are going to be there to be able to help them at their booth or at their tent table site, as well as cleaning up around the farmers market, and the youth will be very engaged in going out into the community and passing out literature and flyers, letting the community members know, the residents of Highland Park know that we have a farmers market going on, but also for educational purposes. We are going, this year in the farmers market, we are happy to say that it's going to be more than just a farmers market of produce and vegetables and healthy food items. We're going to have musicians who will be doing their music and performing. We're going to have artists. So we are trying to include a more massive body of the community engaged, because we want the Highland Park Farmers Market to be a community engagement center.
And the prices will be much lower than Whole Foods. I know that.
Ma'am, there's no comparison
See, a lot
in
of
cost.
people got, were happy Whole Foods got there and
Right.
saw those prices. Now, the theme is planting seeds in the community for healthy living.
Yes.
And this fundraiser will take place on July 13th. That's
July
a Saturday,
13th.
right?
It's a
Yes,
Saturday.
ma'am.
From 2 to 5 at Cornerstone Bistro.
That's
which
right.
I have to try. I have not tried that place yet.
Yes.
Tell me about it, Mamie.
Well, it is, you would find that it's part of DRUM, it's part of Detroit Rescue Mission. And their purpose is also to teach and train in culinary and have the individuals work and,
How is
provide.
the food?
The food is very good, I must say. It's very good.
It
The
smell
chef,
good.
Very good.
I'll tell you that.
And we want to keep it in Highland Park. I'm trying to help provide services to them so that they can stay open. That's so important.
Wonderful. That's wonderful because
important.
they have a great sign.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying it just, and I'm hoping that members of the community do come. Now you have some guest speakers. You have Scott
Yes.
Maloney.
Well, he's the Scott is our project manager. He is someone that him and I got together when I first got in office, or it could have been prior. But we were on the same. We had the same interests as far as healthy living and green. And we also have Carol Giss, which everyone knows, Miss USA 1990.
Right.
Yeah, the first African American Miss USA, and she's going to be speaking on nutrition and fitness, because as you know, she is a fitness trainer,
Right.
and she's also right now working on her master's.
And
in
I like
area.
that you have a health specialist, a mental health specialist.
Yes.
And that's was something we were just talking about. I was just talking about with Jackie, and that's something that's very, very important, and something that has had, it's been a stigma
Yes.
in the African American community, because a lot of times people don't like to talk about it.
Right.
But
That's
we
true.
need to talk about it.
That's true.
And we have Senator Burt Johnson. He's going to be there
Yes.
also. So it is only $20, and you're giving some community awards out.
Exactly.
And it's going to be, you're going to have some jazz.
Yes, we're going to have jazz. Actually, we're going to have a Highland Parker. We're going to have Devlin Jackson.
Deblon,
Yes.
I love Deblon.
I know.
She is with
and
her
she
flute.
was so willing and helpful. Yes, with the flute. That is Devlin. She is excellent.
Fantastic.
Yes, and
Fantastic.
she will also be at the market on occasions too. Her and other Highland Parkers are going to be given.
Well, so much talent came out of
Yes,
Highland Park
that's true.
anyway.
That's true.
So this is July 13th, Saturday, from 2 to 5.
Yes.
And it's well worth it because this is something right here in the community because we have to fight diabetes
We really
and
do.
Yes.
other ailments,
Right.
Right.
heart disease and so forth. Can you tell us some things?
Well, I won't go through all the demographics and statistics, but it is a fact that we have a high rate of diabetes, obesity, and heart conditions, more so among our young today than ever before. That's why it is extremely important to get the message to the young
Yes.
individuals of our community of the importance of healthy living and eating healthy, growing foods, and being healthy.
You know, I think I could eat even healthier if I had a chef. But anyway,
we all need that.
you know, no, because I
I'll take
love
one.
salads and stuff, but
I'll
I
take
mean,
one.
it's just.
Right.
Out.
I
Also,
understand.
I want to add, John Conyers, our congressman, is going to be there also.
Oh,
He's very
okay.
supportive, and he will be there to give us a couple of words.
Well, that's important too. Now, where is the farmers market going to be set up, and what day does it open?
Well, that's another thing too. Right now, we are in the process of trying to find a permanent location within Highland Park so that we can provide this all year round. This summer, we are going to be in the parking lot area of 50 in Manchester. It's right in the shopping center area of Highland Park, east of Woodward, first block. So right there in the parking lot, I guess that's the Elks. That would be
Right
the
by
Elks Club.
Yeah.
Elks.
Right
Yeah,
next
the
to the
Elks.
Elks Lounge. Yes.
Elks.
And I'm sure it will be healthier, the food. I'm not saying anything about Glory Foods,
Right. But it'll be fresh goods.
but it'll
we
be
will have fresh goods.
It'll be fresh because
Yes.
one day
Yes.
no, I'm not going to say anything.
Well,
Yes,
I
but we
probably
know.
can speak on that. One of the problems that we have in Highland Park, but in Detroit as well, is we have the food ecosystem problem, and that is not having enough quality grocery stores.
Absolutely.
We
That is
have
so
a
true.
lot of the, smaller mom and pop type grocery stores, and I won't get into too many specifics about that. But when it comes to a quality chain of grocery store, like we just got Whole Foods in Midtown, but everyone cannot afford Whole Foods. We have a Myers that's going to be up in the 8 Mile in Woodward sometime in July, like July 17th. It's its tentative date. But we have a lack of quality grocery stores, so that's why it becomes more important and even more of an issue that we grow our own foods and we have healthy foods available for the community. And this is all part of green and sustainability.
People can walk there.
Yes,
That
they
too.
can walk there. And
that
also, Mm-hmm.
that was the biggest focus. That was the biggest focus is because Highland Park itself consists of 5 or more senior complexes.
yes,
And we needed something right here local. Eastern Market is excellent, but transportation is an issue right now. And I just think that having something nearby. Hey, I'm sorry, I have to add this. We are providing transportation.
I'm
That's
about
what
to
I
say.
was getting
We
ready
are
to say.
providing
I
transportation.
was
we have
getting-
transportation
I
for,
saw
for,
this.
for the
Yes.
community and elders.
And the
Okay.
transportation company, Mr. Timothy Hall is, I know, the founder of this transportation company. Is it on here? I think it's called Motor.
Let me see.
Yeah, is it on there?
No, we don't have that on there.
We don't
But
have
What
on
is?
there.
Do you know what it's called?
It is called See, that's not good.
Well,
That's not
it
good.
is
That's
called free.
Yeah.
We have-
So,
And you know, and the thing is, the number that he gave, you call that number when you're interested in. Well, actually, we're going to come to you, and we're going to come to our buildings and talk to individuals that are interested in attending or going that morning.
do you know what else they have? Everybody, they have gardening workshops.
Yes, yes. We have a couple individuals that are going to be doing seminars on gardening, proper gardening. We have an individual that's going to do a seminar on permaculture, and we won't get into all that right now.
very
But
nice, very nice.
part of the farmers market operation this year, and a big component, is an educational component for the community.
They have a career exploration workshop.
Yes, we do.
I mean, oh my gosh. If you have some crafts that you make, you could probably sell them there. This is a time where you
That's
can
true.
come out and be a part of this community. You can be an entrepreneur. If you, I mean, like I said, if I baked great pound cakes, I would be there with my pound cakes all wrapped up, and I would shoot. A person like me would go in and buy 3 or 4 because I know, and just to even give away because people love pound cakes.
Ooh,
And-
wait till you taste that sweet potato pie.
Yeah, we do have a great sweet potato pie.
Sweet
That
potato
Yeah, we got a
will
sweet
be-
potato pie
Yes,
vendor
it's
that's
called
he's nothing
Uncle
nice.
Kelvin.
Just-
It's Uncle Kelvin's sweet potato
And
pie.
it's good.
Uncle Calvin,
Yes.
a man.
Man.
Yeah, it's
It
almost
is
good as my
excellent.
sister Michelle's sweet potato
excellent.
pie.
Well, your family makes the best everything, right?
I got
Right,
some. I
Paul?
love my family.
I know that is terrific, and there is an email account here too, hpfarmersmarket@gmail.com.
Yes.
That is correct.
HP Highland Park.
Highland Park.
farmersmarket@gmail.com. I'm so excited about this because this is something that's so needed in the community.
Yes, it is.
And what time will it be open? What are the hours?
The days of operation, the farmers market will start July the 27th through October the 5th, and the operating hours will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. However, depending on the population that's at the market and the demand, those hours can be extended. So we're going to go with those 4 core hours for right
Saturdays
now.
only. It's
And
only
yeah,
Saturdays.
only on Saturdays.
Yeah, only on Saturdays.
Saturdays, 11 consecutive Saturdays.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, we can make a festival out of this.
Yes,
This is
we
great.
can.
Hey, that's what
Yes,
we're
we
trying to do.
can.
We're trying to make it a positive, lively, safe community engagement.
Well, I would
program.
encourage you to come to R.J. Watkins' 60th birthday party next week, Saturday. I would encourage you to
Yes,
come
we
and
will be
talk
there.
to members. There are going to be a lot of members of the community there. And I encourage you to come and talk about this because this is something that's totally wonderful, totally needed. And I would like to support you more so than the supermarket because sometimes some of the supermarket vegetables or produce, it only lasts a few days.
That's
true.
exactly. I won't speak on that, but you're exactly correct.
Why not?
And that's part of the
Okay,
problem.
I can speak on that. I can speak on that. And a lot of us know we bought produce and then the next day it's turning
That
brown.
is so true.
Because it was already, should have been off the counter. It's not fresh. And we are
so
providing
true.
fresh produce.
Is anyone going to provide eggs?
That's a good question.
That's a good
I haven't come
question.
across a vendor thus far. And I'm saying thus far because the recruitment is still in phase. I'm emailing, calling constantly every day, promoting.
Well, I just think that's a great thing to have.
great
Somebody,
thing. That's
some
a great
fresh
thing.
eggs because my mother would go to Eastern Market every couple of Saturdays to
that.
buy her fresh eggs.
Okay,
You know
well,
what?
we're
We're
gonna see
gonna
if we
focus
got,
on that. Just
and we're
for
gonna try
her.
to see
We're
if we can
gonna
get an
focus on
egg
that.
vendor just for you. How's that,
Yes,
Brenda?
we're
We
gonna
get an egg
focus on
vendor just for
that.
you, and I'll call you and say, "Hey, Brenda, I got that egg vendor for you."
I need that egg vendor, even
We're gonna
though
focus on that.
I can only, oh God, I have to do, and I want you to have cabbage.
Yeah.
We try our best, ma'am. That's notated.
Okay,
Yes,
cabbage and
cabbage.
eggs and all of these so that I can take out this 25 pounds, then start eating again. But of course, I'm going to start this after the 4th of July.
Okay, that's fine. But I do want to say this. We thank you, Miss Brenda Perryman,
Yes.
for allowing us to be on your show.
Well, Highland Park, I love. The community, I love. And I think this is so important. Really, Paul and Mammie has worked tirelessly on this. So
Yes.
I want to thank you. Henry Tyler's getting ready to play my music. But I want to remind everybody that this afternoon is Table Talk with Brenda Perryman. And boy, we have a lot to bring to the table this week. We have City Council. We have
Wow.
the Voting Rights Amendment. We have so many things we're bringing to the table. And what is, R.J. Watkins just walked in the building.
Yes,
And it's his 60th birthday.
She's trying to add 30 years to you.
Yeah, he said it's his 100, and we want everybody to come out. And I will see you all this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Please join me. You may want to call in. We're really going to be stirring the pot.
And don't forget, come to the farmers market.
Oh, yes. Oh,
And the
of course.
fundraiser,
Well, I
our
keep on
fundraiser,
reminding you
July
about that.
13th. Yes, the fundraiser.
The fundraiser, July 13th at the Cornerstone
2 p.m.
Bistro at
2 p.m.
2. Oh, I
Yes.
had the wrong time on
Yeah,
here.
It's 2
July
to
Oh,
13th.
yeah,
Yeah.
2 to 5.
2 to
Right, I
5.
got that.
13303 Woodward Avenue.
It's right there
Right there off Woodward.
on the corner. We're going to have fun and jazz. I may even sing.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
So-
there it is.
I will see you all next week. Well, no, this afternoon. And then next week. See you later. Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's bring the issues to the table on Table Talk with Brenda Perry.